All right, hey VC, how you doing? My name is Jamie. Thanks again for stopping by. Hopefully you had yourself a great weekend, and if you were shopping for Black Friday Record Store Day, hopefully you were able to find the titles that you were looking for. I did pick up a few things last Friday. You can check that out on my last video, and thank you to everyone who's checked out my last upload. I had quite a few views or quite a few hits on that one, so thank you for that. As I mentioned, I did pick up a few. I didn't find them, still haven't found the one I'm looking for, which is Alice Cooper's complete live from the AstroTurf. Still haven't come across that one. Hopefully that'll turn up somewhere, but we'll see. But after I had recorded that video and uploaded it, I did pick up a few more titles on Black Friday, in fact. So I was at Sound Fixation, one of the record stores locally, and then I went over to Diamond Dog's Vinyl, another local record store, to see if maybe he had the Alice Cooper album. He didn't have it, but then I wound up picking up this one. This was definitely in my radar. I wasn't sure if I was going to pick it up or not, but I wound up picking it up. Talking about Iggy and the Stooges, Rare Power. And so this is kind of like a companion to the classic 1973 album Raw Power. There's Iggy Pop doing his finest calisthenics on the cover there. And so this is the hype sticker that says, celebrating the 45th anniversary with the rarest and the rawest. 9 deep cuts officially on LP for the first time. Alternates and outtakes from Raw Power, one of the greatest rock albums of all time. And there you have it. And this is a part of the We Are Vinyl releases. So, don't know if you can see the song listings there. And yeah, so let's take a look at what's inside. And of course, Raw Power originally released on Columbia. And so it's a nice cardboard inner sleeve like this. Interesting, the album comes out like that. But they've got the picture of the band there. Iggy Pop and the Boys. And then the song listings and whatnot there. Pretty simple look overall. And then nice, quite a simple label there for Columbia. And overall, it's really enjoyable. If you like Iggy and the Stooges, if you like Raw Power, you're certainly going to enjoy this album with alternate takes, songs that didn't make the album. But if you're looking for high fidelity, this is not where you should be looking. It's definitely kind of low fidelity, but still an enjoyable listen. And for me, with Iggy and the Stooges, I'm not looking for high fidelity, or highly produced, glossy stuff. I want that kind of raw sound, which you're certainly getting with this. And this also includes, I don't know if this is always included with the We Are Vinyl releases, but this also comes with a download card for an MP3 download of this album. So there you have that. Nice to see that included. But yeah, I was a little disappointed that they didn't release this with the album Raw Power, much like they did with the last Record Store Day. They reissued the Stooges' first album from 1969 with also an LP of alternate takes, kind of like this idea. But this one they decided to just release this as a single album, so they didn't release it with Raw Power. And I don't have a Raw Power on vinyl, but I do have it on CD as part of the Legacy Edition CDs. So this is a double CD that came out for Raw Power, and this came out, I believe, in 2010. So disc 1 is Raw Power, and then disc 2 is recorded live at Richards, Atlanta, Georgia. And very, very raw. And then it also includes 2 bonus studio tracks. And as you might be able to see there, the 2 bonus studio tracks appear on this one. And so it's the tracks, I believe if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Dujiman and Head On. So they're the last 2 tracks there, and they are the last 2 tracks on this album. But as you can see, those are the only 2 tracks. The rest of it had not been certainly released before, to my knowledge, so there's not too much duplication here, so that's quite nice overall. But this is a terrific double CD, certainly with regards to the Legacy Editions, giving you lots of music. There you have the back there. And then certainly opens up like that, giving you lots of pictures and whatnot. Certainly the double CDs there. And then a very nice booklet. And it's interesting for a lot of vinyl reissues, it'd be nice if they could include maybe a few more booklets to give you sort of historical context and whatnot, which this does for the CD release. So you got that. Nice little essay there. Lots of extra pictures. Again, the boys there. And then even a nice reproduction of the back cover there. So yeah, so it's if you don't have this, it's definitely worth to picking up that double CD set. But in the meantime, maybe I'll find Raw Power on vinyl eventually. But in the meantime, I'm certainly enjoying this one from Record Store Day from Black Friday. Very enjoyable. And as I mentioned, it did pick up one other one. I then went back to a Sound Fixation because Trevor had posted on social media, Facebook, that a few albums had just arrived, and this was after I had left. And the one I was definitely interested in and wound up picking up, Talking Heads and Remain in Light from 1980, an absolutely terrific album in the hype sticker. 1980, Eno produced, of course, a Brian Eno produced album. They call this a game changer album, and it certainly was for Talking Heads. And this is limited to 5,500, which I thought was a rather unusual number to come up with, limited to 5,500 on red vinyl, listed at number 5 on Pitchfork's top 200 albums of the 1980s. Of course, includes Once in a Lifetime and Cross-Eyed and Painless. But from start to finish, just a terrific album, and certainly fair to say a game changer for the band, really experimenting, getting into world sounds, different rhythms and whatnot. But Once in a Lifetime alone, what a great song. And nice inner sleeve for this one. And you forget that Adrian Belew also plays guitar on this album. And as we mentioned, red vinyl. There you have that. And this also comes with the lyrics included as an insert, which is nice to see. There and there. But yeah, you know, what can you say about this album? Absolutely terrific. Talking Heads, Remain in Light. I was happy to pick this one up for sure. Okay, so we go from Record Store Day Black Friday stuff to the bargain bins. And picked up a few from the bargain bins, shall we say, thrift stores and Goodwills, what have you. Tony Bennett and Count Basie and his orchestra in person on Columbia in stereo from 1958, I believe. And, you know, when you're talking Tony Bennett and Count Basie, what a great team, and sounding great together on this album. I guess the only problem is, it says in person, and then on the back here they say, recorded in Philadelphia. Problem is, it's actually not an authentic live album. Reportedly, the story with regards to this is that they had recorded a concert or a Philadelphia concert, but they had recorded it in mono, but the producer wanted it to release it or record it in stereo. So what they did is they went to the studio, kind of recreated the concert, or at least the concert set list, and then dubbed in audience. And you can really tell when you listen to this, and I didn't know the backstory with regards to this album, but listening to it right off the bat, the audience just doesn't sound quite natural with the music. I mean, the audience comes in quite loud, then fades quickly, comes back in loud at the end of the song, even some of the songs that kind of fade out, and then the audience comes in quite strong, so it just doesn't sound quite natural. And I guess sure enough, that's what they did. They recorded this in the studio, dubbed in audience to make it sound like a live recording, which happened certainly more than once in recorded music history, that's for sure. But for me, it doesn't take away the listening pleasure that you're getting from Tony Bennett and Count Basie together. And here's the selections of songs there. Just a very, very enjoyable album. And just kind of pleased to pick this one up. And yeah, and it's nice to see it on the old Columbia label, which you don't often see. And there you go, Tony Bennett and Count Basie. And Tony Bennett still going strong, my goodness. All right, and some Canadian content for you on this one. Picked up Loverboy's first album, simply titled Loverboy. And there you have the band there, rocking the red pants and the yellow pants there. And this is, radio-friendly, rockin', power pop kind of stuff. The Kid is Hot Tonight, Turn Me Loose, Lady of the 80s on the Columbia label, 1980. Interesting, a woman by the name of Barbara Astman designed the cover, and this is Barbara Astman, and this is kind of like a self-portrait, or I guess you could say an early selfie. So she designed the cover, and this is a picture of her, and then this is the lyrics, I believe, to the song Little Girl. So that's interesting. And yeah, again, power pop, and of course on the Columbia label. And there you go. And there you go. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this one. Thanks so much for stopping by. We'll have lots of albums and CDs certainly to look at, and we'll chat again hopefully tomorrow. And again, do take care. Thank you so much for everyone who has liked, subscribed, and don't forget to hit that bell thing for notifications as well. Do appreciate all the comments as well. Take care. Bye-bye.